Hello. So today's video is about what is a client, what is a server, and what is a database. So these three things combined makes a full stack application. So here is my drawing board. This I created for fun in a day. So let's draw. I'm not good at drawing, but let's draw four boxes, and let's draw two arrows here and here. So this C is client, S is server, D is database. So what is a client? Let's start from the client. So client is what we are looking at right now in the screen. You might be looking at this screen in your YouTube. So that's basically a client, what the user is using. Let's say I am using my browser and opening different websites, for example, kidder.vercel.app. So this basically is my client. And what is a server? So server is basically a computer which can be your phone, your laptop, if you plan to create, use it as a server. But it's not a viable option because you can't keep it running 24 by 7 because you don't know when the users will visit your website, right? So let's say this server, what is a server? Is basically a computer sitting in Canada. See, okay. So here is my client which I'm using from India. So this computer is right now in Canada. Okay. You don't need to know much about it. You just understand what I'm telling you. The client which I am using is my browser and I'm using it from India, and this server is a computer in Canada which runs 24 by 7. And now what is a database? So database is also let's call it memory storage which is sitting in USA. USA. Oh, it can be India, USA, maybe Germany. It depends. It doesn't matter really here. But yes, it matters when performance is a concern. But for now, let's keep it like simple like this. So in a client, if I want to see keyder.vercel.app or google.com, I will send a request. I will send a request to the server of google.com. What I want Google. I can't write it here, but I know you understood. So I'm sending a request to the Google server that I want google.com. So the Google server will send me back the Google page, which is like this. You see here, I just requested, let's say again, www.google.com. But you see some things here is coming. I mean, where this data is coming from, the Google's data. it's coming from the Google's database. So what happens when I send a request for google.com to the Google server process that request and checks in the database for the data it needs to send me to show me the google.com page. So from database, it collects the data, it brings back it to the server, it process it, and it sends me to my client. So when I hit google.com, Google server send me this. Now when I hit, let's say next.js, so Google server, I sent the Google server a request. What request? I send it google.com/search query and everything. You don't need to know about the query, but if you still want to know, just go to AI and ask it that what is a query? What is a query when I search google.com, and then on the google.com when I search next.js, why the URL changes? So it will give you a you know basic understanding of what's going on. But for now, we requested next.js to the Google server. So Google server will go to the database and crawl to the web. Google's bot will go different places. It will find the next.js details, and it's showing me here. So this basically we got from the Google server. And here is my client, and I'm watching the web data Google server sent me. Okay, so this basically is the client server database architecture. And now I will show you what what technologies you would be needing to make a full stack application which utilizes client server and database. Okay, so let's make a basic let's make it Instagram story because it has bigger aspect ratio than the post. And let me select some elements, let's say this, and yeah, so basically we will call this client. So on the client I'm seeing Vercel, kidder.vercel.app. So that's basically on my client, right? So, okay, client, game, server, and now database. So, what technologies you would be needing and what do I suggest you? So, I will write those technologies here. I won't be writing all because there are like hundreds of technologies in the market. But what I suggest and what I use is what I will be writing and what our series will cover. So, for the client, we will learn HTML. Now I will explain what is HTML, then CSS, then JavaScript, then React.js or Vue.js. I prefer React. Oh, and maybe yes, Next.js. Next.js is a full stack framework. I will explain you what is a full stack framework and how different Next.js is from React.js. But for now, you need to learn this for the client side. It seems that it's a big deal, but it's not in real. I will explain you how each and everything, right? And for the server, what you will be needing is Node.js. There is different technologies like PHP, Golang, Java, but we will go for with the Node.js because Node.js is basically JavaScript, which you will be writing JavaScript. You already have learned JavaScript in the client side, so you would be able to write the server code too. So you don't need to learn different languages, and that's what is the advantage of starting today. Starting the full stack development journey today. So it's way easier today than it was yesterday. So it's getting easier and easier. So don't worry, it's all easy thing. All you need to do is just understand the working. You don't need to understand different languages and jump from one language to second language. Only one is enough for most of the task. Okay, so Node.js for the server, and we will use Python too for some tasks, which I will explain why and how. For the database, there is PostgreSQL, SQL, there are relational, non-relational databases. I will explain what is relational, non-relational. But for now, we will go with MongoDB and Firebase. Why? Because those are non-relational. So if you already know JavaScript, you already know MongoDB and Firebase. So for these first three steps, you might struggle and later everything will be easy. People say HTML, CSS and JavaScript it is easy. You will struggle in Next.js, React or Node.js. But your main focus should be these three and then you will be unstoppable. So let's talk about how how I'm planning to get you guys into learning and earning together. So for the first 2 months, let's say I can cover it in a week, but I want you guys to master the things. So let's say in the first 2 months, I want you guys to master HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So with that 2 months, what you will be able to build is websites. I will show you an example of websites which doesn't have a server, which doesn't have a database, which are just hard coded websites. I will show you an example here, metapagerp.com. So this is a website I built for a client. Yeah, this one. So this doesn't have a server or a database. This is just a basic website and it's totally mobile responsive. I will explain you what is mobile responsive and what is uh, you know what terminologies we use in the CSS. I will explain you each and everything. So this is just a basic website. So why I want you guys to master this, because in the 2 months I believe that you guys should start at least making 100, 200, 300, depends upon where you are, dollars, by building just basic website for the local businesses. And then after the 2 months, if you don't give up here, then we will cover React and Next.js in another 1 month. Okay, we will cover React first in 20 days. It doesn't even require 20 days, it requires just 2 days. But I want you guys to be as good as the most experienced developers in the industry, right? So let's say 20 days for the React. So after React, you would be still be able to make this websites and nothing new, but you would be able to do a lot in this website, like let's say single page applications, What is SPA? I will show you. blunderpost.vercel.app. This is my website. Okay, so basically this is a single page web application. What happens is the content here, you see, here I will go to google.com, and if I click something, you see here it doesn't reload. But let's go to Google and let's search. Look here, look at here at my cursor, and you will get an idea. Let's search anything, and you see here the page refreshes. So this is a old technology. It's still running and it's still going very well, but still the single page applications has taken over. For example, here my page doesn't reload. Here, my page doesn't reload, but the content of the page changes. So this basically is called single page application, SPA. So you would be able to build single page applications in about 3 months if you focus really well. All you need is just 3 hours a day, not much. I won't be demanding person, but I think if you give more than that, then it's definitely gonna benefit you because everyone has have different learning capacity. But yes, learning capacity doesn't really matter here as far as you are consistent. So for the and after the React, we will skip the Next.js part because my goal is to make you guys full stack developers, and then we will go with advanced technologies. So for the Node.js, we will give maximum time here, 30, let's say 45 days. Why? Because we want to build lots of applications here, like Node.js applications. I want to cover each and everything so you guys won't struggle for building any kind of software. Okay, so 45 days for the Node.js, and for the Python, guess how many days? Just 2 days. Why? Because Python we will be using for only few tasks. Because beyond full stack, I would still want you guys to learn the internals of the computer, bash, shell scripting, networking, and a lot, doing automation for the companies you are working and for your task. It's really good. And after this, we will we will cover database in just 5 days. Why 5 days? Because we already would be using it here, and you will just need to understand how to design a database. So 5 days only for the database. And once you learn MongoDB, you already know Firebase. You just need to, play around with it. Now, we will again come back to where Node.js to learn what web scraping. I will show you an example. Web scraping to scrape data from other websites and either save it or display it. Depends on the requirement. For this, we will give like 20 days because I want you guys to master this thing. It can be covered in a day because you will be already knowing Node.js and databases. So yes, and later, so 20 days, and later we will move to Next.js where we will spend just 5 days, and you would be good to go with the Next.js, right? Next.js 5 days. So let's calculate how many total days. 2 months is like 60 days. 20 days is like 80. 80 plus 45 is like 125. 2 days 127 and 5 132. 132 days, 5 days is like 137, and 20 is like 157. Okay, so 157 days is what we are planning. There can be breaks in between. So let's let's call it 180 days. So it's still 180 days is how much? Half a year. So it's still 6 months. And in 6 months, you would be a full stack application developer who can build applications which are really full stack, which have database, which have server. So this basically is just is a full stack application. Here I'm scraping movies from a website. I don't know where, because you guys have already know from where. And I'm displaying the links directly to download the websites, right? Download the movies, not website, lol. And this doesn't show any ads or give any redirects or prompts and irritating stuff. So this I'm scraping basically from somewhere else. Let's say I will give you another example. Here it is. This is my website where it scrapes the articles from another website and display those articles here. Pretty good, right? I have not added these articles manually because there are thousands of articles and it's not in my capacity to add all these articles, but we are getting it from somewhere else. So I will explain you each and everything. For now, you already know what is a client server database architecture, and this we call full stack development. And for client, for server, for database, I have differentiate here the technologies we will be using and focusing and learning. So that's all. And we will start from HTML, CSS, and I believe watching my videos, you will get, you know, lots of good knowledge. Yeah, I might be bad with with how one should present, or I might be bad with how, you know, I don't have a good camera or something to look like a professional YouTuber or even the accent. But the information I will provide is what I have learned and what I have made. And the next video is about what technology made me the most money till today. Right. So please, see all the videos on my channel. Share it to the people who actually want to learn things, because it's not monetized right now and I don't want any donations because I'm already doing good, and I won't be making any paid courses, because the paid courses, let's say here, what we are watching, this stuff is not good here. They're just taking the advantage of your lack of patience. You don't need this kind of courses. It's all available out there. It's already on the internet. If you know how to Google, how to use AI well, and how to search things on the YouTube, then you are good to go. And I have a task for you guys. Write your mobile model. Mine is IQ Z9S Pro 5G. How to turn on hotspot. You see, simple thing we already know from the menu, but let's search. And I want you guys to do the same for your own phones and your laptops. Search different things on Google. Ask at least 1000 questions a day to Google, and then you will be a complete programmer. So thank you so much. The video is getting very long, 24 minutes. But yes, I want to share as much information as I can in a single video, and then yeah, let's uh, let's meet in the next video. Thank you.